Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our latest Accelerate Learning series. Very happy to have you with us this morning. This is the Accelerate Learning series Pivot Point. This is brought to you by our wonderful digital service squad, part of our digital Main Street team. So this is, as you're likely aware, the first of a four-part series that will be taking place over the next 4 weeks on Wednesday mornings. Covering your digital presence, your creative skills, your image, your social media, your website SEO, etc. So yeah, super excited to have you with us today. We really enjoy putting on the Accelerate Learning series. We usually run this a couple of times a year, and it builds up to our main event, the Accelerate Summit in October. So super happy to have you with us. And with that, it's my great pleasure to introduce our first presenter from our digital service squad, our graphic design lead, Marleen Walz. So Marleen, over to you.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody, and thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us today for the first series in the Accelerate Pivot Point. Educate yourself on today's digital landscape. Every week we will share with you a different topic, and today it is me on creativity. Before we begin, I just want to quickly shout out to our partners. Thank you guys so much for making it possible for us to share our insights. Today I am presenting from the Sandbox, the 360 room, and thank you, Sandbox, for making this possible. Let's talk about logistics first. I am going to try to keep this presentation short and sweet with a couple of interactive elements. If you have any questions that arise during my presentation, please put them in the questions in the chat. Dave will help me at the end with a Q&A session. He will gather your questions and read them to me, and I will answer them as well as I can. If I do not have the answer right away, I will try to answer you at a different time, and we will find a way to do this. We are going to go into breakout rooms. Some of you might have experienced this before. It's going to be small rooms, hopefully 2 sessions with about 4 people per group, depending on how many people have signed down. We are now on 20, so I think about 4 people per group. These breakout rooms will be exactly 5 minutes. I will time them. Once you are in your breakout group, please assign a group leader. And if you would like to present, there will be, after the 5 minutes, a little recap review section where you can present what you and your amazing team came up with. So get excited, get your pens out, or you can write this on your computer or device. It's up to you. 5 minutes, 1 group leader. During the breakout rooms, please try to be interactive and help each other out creating a new idea. So in the slides, you will see takeouts. This is basically your to-do list. Please jot down your takeouts and use them as you see fit. You will get the slide deck after this presentation emailed to you, as well as the 2 creative exercises that I will be using. However, I think if you jot them down on pen and paper, they will stick into your brain a little bit better. So why not grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and jot down your ideas as they come to you, and you can expand on them later. So now you're talking maybe with each other like, who is this girl? Well, I am Marleen Walz. When I was 13 years, I was a bit of a problem child. So my uncle, who did not have children, took me under his wing and he brought me to his design studio. Oh my gosh, that was fun. It was the old-fashioned way. People were sitting down, still drawing newspaper article caricatures. There were people presenting stories, trying to be as creative as possible, and a whole world opened up for me. I never looked back. I've been born in the Netherlands. I fell in love in Sint Maarten, where I was working for Heineken. My husband then brought me to Hong Kong, where I had a graphic design agency for 11 years. we got pregnant. Hong Kong was not a great place to raise children. So we moved back to Lyle, Ontario, where we are raising two beautiful boys and where I have become an aspiring beekeeper. Oh my word, another world, very creative, and you learn so much from the bees. I'm excited to bring my experience to the Simcoe area, and I really hope that this information that I'm going to share with you will be of use to you. So what am I going to share with you? First of all, we are going to talk about tools that you can use to be creative. So many people that you will not believe it come to me and they tell me that they don't have a story. They don't know how to come up with new and invigorating ideas. Well, I'm going to give you two, and we are going to use an idea generation tool. Idea generation is better done with a team, but the first two tools you can do as an individual. Then we're going to jump into visual storytelling. This might be a little bit of the boring theoretical section. I am trying to make it more interesting by putting you in another breakout room here where you are going to talk about hook, voice tone, visuals, and arcs. Last but not least, we are going to quickly look at what is my creative toolbox. I'm going to give you two books if you are interested in visual storytelling that you can read. We're going to quickly sum up your to-do list, and then we're going to jump into the Q&A section. So are you ready? Then join me in this section, tools and idea generation. Again, you have a story to tell. You started a business because you had a passion, you had an idea. But how do you formulate this? If you come out of this section feeling inspired, thinking differently, and you feel confident to create and build your brand story, I have reached my goal with this inspirational creative exercise. So you're not creative. There are online tools such as Portent and Answer to the Public. We're going to review these first. Then we are going to do the red card creative exercise, where I want you to shatter your assumptions of things and think outside of the box. These tools will be sent to you via email after this presentation as well. Red card exercise and idea generation, again, better done in a group of 3 or more. But if you're alone, hey, maybe you can reach out to people right here that are in this recording and maybe set up a session with each other some other time. Reach out to other small businesses, create a community, and let's make Simcoe like strong, community-based small business support, and so on. So I'm going to teach you not to think. What? Well, why don't you let the tools do the thinking? Type in keywords and it comes up with sentences. Use this tool to come up with ideas. So what does this look like? This is an idea generator. This is just a sample. Portent idea generator. It's online. You can create catchy titles for your next blog post, podcast, video. You can come up with ideas. Put your subject in the generate idea. Click generate idea, and it will come up with numerous answers. Okay, so play with that one. A great, great little tool. Portent.com. Second one, use Google to your advantage. Answer the Public is an amazing, amazing website. You type in keywords and it gives you numerous questions of the word which you can then use for ideas. This is all created with data, people. Use it. Use data to your advantage. Search. Ooh, my word. Look who's looking into my eyes. Hi. Okay, I will discover what people are asking about my business. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Chocolate. Okay, I have a chocolate business. Fictional. What are people searching on Google? This is amazing. About chocolate. Here is my fictional person. Here are some subjects. And here are even more ideas. See, you don't have to be creative. Let the tools do the thinking. Let the data do the thinking. If you are alone, if you don't have anybody to spar with, use these two tools. I guarantee you, use 20 minutes of your time effectively with these tools. You won't be running out of ideas. It'd be, oh my word, brain explosion. What am I gonna pick? So if you are stuck for ideas, if you are alone, if you don't have sparring partners, go here. 2 websites, lots of ideas. I do believe that the best ideas do come with partners, that said. But if you don't, hey, there you go. Okay, are you guys ready for a little game? I hope you are. I see somebody going yes. I want you, and this I will do alone, and afterwards we will go to breakout rooms. I want you quickly, 1 minute, think of a bottle. If you have a piece of paper, draw that bottle out. Quick, 1 minute. I'll just give you a little bit of time. 10, 12 right now. Okay. You got a little outline of a bottle. Please fill your bottle. Fill your bottle. All right, I think that's enough time. I can guarantee you that your bottle is too obvious. I cannot sell that bottle for you. Okay? You're not disrupting it. You are not delighting me with a new product. You are boring, okay? Get out of that box. Make me excited. How, Marleen? I don't know why. I'm not a creative person. Well, you better get into and out of that creative box. And this is what we're going to do with breakout rooms, okay? I'm going to make you spar with people. I'm going to get you out of your comfort zone. Creative exercises are for idea generation. There are a million of examples, okay? Today's example includes the red card technique. So what we're going to do is we are going to quickly go over that. I wanted you to fill your bottle with a ship, with an elephant. I wanted to have a chocolate champagne bottle that I can eat. I don't care about the champagne. I like chocolate. Okay? How are we going to get to these conclusions? Well, look at this quest I give you. On the left, we have a question and a problem. For you today, I have an item. I want you in your breakout room for 5 minutes to do some creative thinking. You shatter those assumptions, okay? We're gonna concretize the issue after that because we have to get down to earth, guys. Sorry, we have to be able to make it. And then come on an end goal and a solution. The red card game is normally with how questions, okay? A lot of companies always say, yes, but don't be crazy. We tried that before. It's too expensive. Oh, let's shelf that idea, go somewhere else, okay? So this is normally with how questions, but we're going to use it today because we are just doing some idea generation exercises. I will email this to you so you can use this in your next idea generation session in your company. So today, on the left side, you see my little quest, okay? With creative thinking, I want you to have one person that's going to write this all down. With the product that I'm going to give you, I want you to break the assumptions, okay? So if it is a bottle, I want you to break that it's a Coca-Cola bottle. I don't want it to be see-through. I don't want it to have a liquid. Describe the assumptions that you have about this concept in the first column. I want you to make a second column. I want you to write down the opposites of all assumptions that you've made. Describe them and expand on them. At this point of the creative exercise, crazy ain't crazy, all right? Go nuts. Then I want you to come down to earth and concretize the issue, okay? And make it something that you can share with the group if you are comfortable. So we're gonna play again. I'm gonna give you a chair in your breakout rooms, okay? How many people are we? We are with 22 people. Okay, I am going to make 4 groups. They will be assigned automatically. You'll have 5 to 6 participants per room. I want you to think about a chair. One person is going to write down all the assumptions. Take like 1 or 2 minutes. Everybody just yell out their assumptions of a chair. For example, 4 legs. Okay, chair has to have 4 legs. Then I want you to write down opposite, chair without legs. And then I want you to come to a creative solution. If you were a designer, what would your chair look like? Would it still function as a chair? Would it still be categorized as a chair? And then maybe share it with the group if you are comfortable. So a group, 5 minutes, 1 note taker. Be creative, yell out your questions, and use the last 2 minutes to crystallize your ideas, and then we will review it. Okay, I see one more person is coming into the room. Please admit them, and then I will create the breakout rooms. If you want to, introduce yourself to each other, but use the 5 minutes to create ideas. Are we ready? Here we go. I think everybody is back from their breakout rooms. I had a total of 4 rooms. If you, when I shout out your group, so I'll say room number 1, for example, was Briar, Gina, Laura, Sharon, and Thea. Can one of you unmute yourself and tell me your end result? Can they unmute themselves? No? I see something in the chat. Some people couldn't hear anything. Okay, that is not good. Did other people experience the same? Can you throw it in the chat? Maybe just throw in the chat what your group came up with. So throw in the chat what your group came up with, and then everybody can review your idea. So there was one note taker. If the note taker can just write down the chair or item they came up with, that would be lovely. Just because of time, I'm just gonna go full steam ahead. I hope that's okay with you guys. So what I wanted you to do is look at the opposite thinking. This asks you to become familiar with the opposite side of things, to stretch the horizon of possibilities. The goal is to boost your brainstorming session. Okay, that was the goal, by challenging assumptions and solving them and coming up with additional, more creative ideas. If your group did it successfully, I applaud you. And again, you will see that feeding off of each other and like bouncing ideas, you will be a lot more creative. So recap of this little section: use strategic tools, don't limit your ideas, and use creative thinking. So now we're going to go to a little bit of a theoretic section, visual storytelling. Everybody loves a good story, and your story makes your data matter, okay? You can hook into our data analytics and web specialist on March the 10th, and they will show you how you can track your stories and make your data matter. For example, this Spotify campaign that's been going on for years, every year it gets me. They look at playlists that people have made, that they've been listening to. They use their data for advertising. It tells you a story. Dear person in LA who listened to the Forever Alone playlist for 4 hours on Valentine's. You okay? Thanks, 2015. It's been weird. Hilarious. Okay, and they have all kinds of things like that. They use their data, they hook me by being, and they have a personal voice as if they're talking to me, and then the visual supports it all. So why should your audience stop strolling through their feed and engage? Why would you? If you are bored by your own post, I can guarantee you, you are not hooking me, okay? What are you telling me that is new, engaging? What is disruptive about your post that hooks me? The second thing, and this will take, guys, this is not done over one day of ice. This will take you time. It's an ongoing process. Your voice and your tone of your brand. If you are really into brand and visual storytelling, you have to find your voice. Voice is a mission statement. Tone is the application of that mission statement. I will have some examples. Achieving the right tone or mood visually is the own challenge. Know how to tell your brand story. See desire, start relationships, and inspire nothing short of love is an ongoing process. Sorry, if you did not unmute, put yourself on mute, can I just please ask you to mute yourself? Side note. What do you read? Amazon's shit car show. Or are you reading Amazon's hit car show? That is a good hook. They got so much feedback because they thought the marketing department made a mistake. But you didn't. But I got you excited, didn't I? Yeah, you stopped, you looked, and then you look at the visual and you're like, ah, It's not a mistake. They hooked me. They got me. How? By disrupting your brain. Okay? They hooked you. And with the visual, they supported that hook. How can you do this to your customer? So I want you to think of a brand story just like that one that stuck with you and discuss it in your breakout group. Hook, voice, arch, visual. Why did it stay with you? How did they discuss this with you? What was their storyline, their buildup? And what kind of visual did they attract? Okay, we're just going to do a quick 5 minutes, and then I'm going to talk to you again. Okay, I think everybody is back again, so I will keep on going. So why are we doing this? I want you to find a character. What does your brand sound like? What is the general vibe? Is the tone? Language, what kind of words do you use? And last but not least, never forget, what is your purpose? Why are you on social media? Why are you making me do this, Marleen? A lot of people think it's a waste of their time. It is not, okay? Why are you making me do this? I will tell you why I'm making you do all this. Because you're building brand ambassadors. You're cultivating a voice, sorry, there's my alarm, that delights. Your customers will talk positively about your brand. This content will reach other customers and prospective customers. And that way, your brand ambassadors, your customers are delivering your message for you. And that is why we put so much time into storytelling. The more exciting, the more disruptive, the more it delights, the more people are going to talk about you. So because of time, I skipped a couple of slides and I'm going to speed it up a wee bit. I hope you can follow me. I am just going to talk quickly about what content to share. You'll get the full slide deck later. I'll give you some homework in it. For example, coming up with 5 hooks, coming up with your tone. There'll be some brainstorming things that you can work on by yourself or in a group and bounce ideas. But what content are we going to share? We got all these amazing ideas. I got this great idea, but now what? Use your data. Again, March 10th, the guys will talk about data and how to utilize this. On the left side, you have your unique brand expertise and value. On the right, your customer interest and needs. Sweet spot is in the middle. How do you know what this is? You follow your data, okay? And I will show you how. I want you to create 3 content pillars. I used to work for big marketing and design agencies. We always use with content pillars. You think of an ongoing theme, 3+ posts that will get the audience buzzing and engage with your content. They want to hear more, get excited, and they want to see what comes next. For example, let's look at this fashion industry. They have 3 pillars. One is street style, one is body positive, one is beauty. Look what the data tells me. Okay, my street style pillar, should I change that? My body positive is doing well, my beauty is doing well, but obviously street style is not engaging with my clients. That's how you follow your data. You're not into the data? Let's talk about Simco. Let's make it real. Simco Travel, Simco Lifestyle, simple local businesses. Oh my word, look at that, 888. That's a very lucky number. We should maybe make more subcategories there. How can we improve Simco Lifestyle? Think about new subcategories. We're thick, Milkshake and Co. and Simco. Pun on words and product. That's how you make it alive, okay? Play on friendship and community. The milkshake is thick. Visualize 2 girls sharing the milkshake out of school. You have a friendship community pillar, content pillar, and that's where you would put it. So if you were in that Simco area, you would put it in that pillar. Now look at this fictional bookshop. These are their 3 pillars: cozy corners, new books, indie authors. If I look at the subcategory of cozy corners, coffee shop, 540 people engaged. That's a big part. Maybe I should make that its own pillar. Or maybe this bookshop thinks, hey, maybe I should add a little coffee shop, a coffee station. Use your data effectively. Look at how you engage with people. You're not doing this for nothing. You're a business. Yes, you want to build community. Yes, you want to build relationships. But in the end, it is also a ROI, okay? Never forget that. How do I create visuals? Next week, February 14th, Laura, our photographer, is going to talk to you about how you can create effective photography and share this on your social media, on your blog, wherever you want. Okay, now I got these beautiful visuals. How do I get them out there? How am I going to execute them? If you can't think about visuals, Ceros.com Inspire, great website, gets inspiration. Canva.com, if you work with the digital service squad, that's one of my things. I make Canva templates for you, or you can go there yourself, create a template, plug it in. It's basically your free graphic design, well, free, depending on what profile you have, but it's a graphic design friend. But also never forget, you are an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur also has to know how to be an outrepreneur. Know your limits and utilize your strengths and outsource where needed. Don't forget the data. Once again, it's a huge, huge bonus. I cannot be a creative without data. A data is not a data source without creativity. Fantastic marketer applies both creativity and data. If nobody sees it, then what? Okay, I always think about a girl blinking at a guy in the dark. Hey, he's not gonna see it. Okay, need some light in the room, you need your data. So recap, know your story, build your brand story. It's all about storytelling. I give you a tip right here. If you don't know where to start, start with your origin story. Why? Why did you create a business? What drove you? And share that. Create content pillars. What 3 categories can you put your content in? Follow the data, see what connects with your clients. Okay? Now quickly, the creative box. You got excited? You have a thirst for more? I would be very happy about that. There's a really good book from Robert McKee. It's a little bit older. It's called The Story. It's all about storytelling. There's millions of things if you just Google it, storytelling, that will tell you how to create a story. Kendra Hall is a storytelling consultant. You can also go to her website. She has a blog. Use that, read it. Her Stopping Traffic is a beautiful blog post. It's a little video, 5 minutes or so. Watch that. It will get your brain buzzing, I bet. Stopping Traffic. And be a lifelong learner. Stay childish, curious about the world, the trends and the insight around you. Be open to them and play with them. Disrupt and delight your audience. So recap of the whole thing. Use your tools. Important. Answer the public. Creative exercises. Again, better as a team because you build off each other's emotions. 2, build a brand story. People love stories. We used to sit around campfires and tell stories way past when we just started evolving. So know yours. Create content pillars. Maximum 4 to 5 themes. Okay? And your content ideas must fit into the themes. Last but not least, know your data. Is it working? March 10th and 11th, or March 10th at 10 with Chris and Dustin. By the way, we also have beautiful Melissa, and she will be presenting March 1st about content and how you can create that engagement. So that would also be a really, really great resource to tap into. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to be here with me. And I'm hoping that you interacted well with your teams. Try to find some people to bounce ideas off of with the people right here. Share your information in the chat. Maybe you can help each other out. Make Simcoe businesses strong. Dave, it is over to you to Q&A session. Please put the Q&A into the chat. And I'm going to try to turn the lights on here because they have turned off. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marleen, for an extremely fun and engaging session. I know from my group in particular, there was lots of smiles and laughter in our breakout sessions there. And judging by some of the comments as well, everybody's had a fun morning. So thank you for making it so entertaining and enjoyable.
Somebody has learned a little bit about disrupting and delighting their audience. I am very happy.
Excellent, excellent. Glad to hear it. So yeah, folks, please do, if you have questions for Marleen, we have some good time. We have almost 20 minutes for questions. And so please do just pop them in the chat box there and we'll try to get to every one of them. Just maybe while we're just waiting for some questions to be added in there, Marleen, is there anything else any other pearls of wisdom that you wanted to share while we're just waiting for questions to populate?
I have made one little mistake.
Okay.
Okay. Melissa's amazing content webinar is March 3rd at 10 a.m. They're on Wednesday, people. I am sorry. I think I said March 1st. I was just trying to pop it in there because, again, like this digital service squad group, like we all have a different facet. And if you put them all together, you're basically working with an ad agency. Okay. So that's why, like, if you follow the whole series, I think you'll see every facet of the digital service squad. And I see Melissa had a question in her group.
Yeah.
Talking about the story arc. Is that okay if I answer that?
Yeah, fire away, please do.
Okay. So what is a story arc? It is the building of a story, okay? Think about two cars colliding, okay? That disruption in the middle, that's your story arc. Where do you build it? I always take the example, think about your favorite movie. If it's a who's done it, okay? The whole way you're thinking, and you come to a conclusion. So your story arc is the building of that story. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm seeing nods and thumbs up. And I see, Joy, you have your hand up. Just one moment there. Just we'll come to you. Thanks. Question from Jerry. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Like more clarification around creating pillars, please.
Okay, so pillars. So again, if you work for the bigger agencies, you always work with content pillars to put your information in, because brainstorming sessions and idea generation are very broad. But in the end, we always have to bring it back to something concrete, and we have to put it in a subsection. When you're thinking about content pillars, and I'm hoping that this visual will help you, think about walking in Walmart. You know where the pharmacy is, you know where the food is, you know where the electronics are. That is how, so it's basically categorization of your business. If your business was a storefront like Walmart, how would it be categorized? And what would you talk about? Now, content pillars do change over time. So for example, the fashion industry, they would have 4 different seasons. So 4 times 4 different pillars. But for small, medium enterprise, I just recommend use a year or half a year of working through 3 content to 5 maximum content pillars. Think about your business. How can you put the content in different menus or like categories and subsection that? So for example, I know that Gary, and for example, if Gary has one content pillar of events, okay, one pillar would be events, and then you would have the subsection weddings, kids parties, etc. That's one content pillar. I hope this answers your question.
Fantastic. Thanks, Marleen. Joy, you had your hand up. Do you want to just take yourself off mute for a second and ask your question?
Will do. Hi, everyone. Hi. Okay, my question is, and this is what I'm struggling with a little bit with my brand.
Don't laugh about your brand.
Well, okay.
Getting it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So how personal are we making? It's a comfort level for me because my kids being younger wanted, like, I would like to not have personal stuff, but that's what they think is the hook. And my data is actually backing that up. Yes. And here comes a dog. Okay. So yeah, so that is there a fine line there? Obviously I'm not that interesting. I don't have much to hide. So I'm okay with that. No crimes as well as of yet. So but it really does back the insights that I'm getting from Instagram and Twitter and everything, that is backing up. The more personal it is, the more engagement I'm getting. So it's not a healthy relationship. I'm gonna gonna say that. I realize that because it gets more likes if it's a whole, whatever. But
are those likes bringing you to business?
yeah, that's not as much as I would like.
And that's where
Interesting.
you have to follow the data, and the boys will touch upon that more.
Okay.
Let me just try to explain this to you a little bit. We have been so brainwashed with advertising, with stuff out there. 2021, all the highlights and all the journals that I've read about the advertising marketing agency is get personal. People want to see who you are, what is your brand, why did you start, what are your passions? They want to hear your brand story. And that's what 2021 is all about. If you look at the big guys, for example, if you look at Nike, they just did a beautiful feature about Muslima women and how they play sports and the stories behind these ladies. Right away, as a woman, you feel the interaction, you feel the passion around that. Why? Because it is made personal.
Right.
If you are not happy being the person behind, of course, I want to see the person behind the brand, but you can always create an avatar or create a different public front.
Yes. Okay. That is
Does that answer
helpful.
your story?
Mm-hmm.
So for
Yes.
example, mascots would be a different front.
Right.
I hope this answers.
Okay. And may I ask one more? Sorry, guys.
Sure.
Okay. I have the floor. So for arcs or pillars, Jerry, I know that was a good question. So for me personally, would that be in a real sense, like I'm taking my brand and my advertising is, so what I'm trying to do is if I post 3 times a week, for example, one focuses on health, Monday focuses on health, Tuesday focuses on exercise, or Wednesday, and then Friday is a personal, is that what you would call pillars?
Broader.
Or
Think broader.
broader? Okay.
Yes. Your content
Okay.
pillars are the broad spectrum of writing. Okay. So for example, exercise could be underneath personal development, which would be exercise, mindset, readings, etc.
Oh,
So
okay.
broad
Yeah.
spectrum,
Yeah.
almost like a pie slice. Okay.
Right.
Again, like Walmart, you have the fresh food, you have the canned food, and all the way in the back, you have the drinks. So
Right.
a broad spectrum.
Make it big.
Category.
Big. Yeah.
Yes, because your content has to flow in there. But you guys didn't see the slide, but I had one slide and it said, doesn't fit, ditch it. Okay. If it doesn't fit in one of these content pillars, because these content pillars are what you want to track with your data, you find your subcategories like the bookshop that I said with cozy corners, and then you see what is your niche market. And that's what you want to tap into, because those are the people that probably will buy.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Excellent. Thanks, Marleen. I wrote that down. If it doesn't fit, ditch it.
Yeah,
I like that.
You'll see it in the slides. I skipped over a lot of slides because I wanted to do a good Q&A. So
that's a key point. And I think this is a really useful part of the discussion, because it does help when we're looking at social media. I know sometimes it's like, well, what do I post next? And it can just seem a bit random sometimes, or we can allow it to be random. But by having those 3 buckets, those 3 pillars, if you like, 2, 3, 4 pillars, and if it doesn't fit in one of those, sorry?
Maximum 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's wonderful. And yeah, we do have another question here from Jennifer. So question around looking at the data, does that also include seeing what other businesses are doing in your field and comparing yourself to themselves, or should I guess you stand alone?
So the gentleman will touch base on this on March 10th. So there is something called analytics, which you can run behind, and you can also do an audit of your competitors and see what are they doing. But again, it's your brand, it's your passion, it's your baby. What is your brand story? Yes, you can look at different businesses in your field, definitely. do the research. But while you're doing the research, always think, but what is my niche? Where do I stand out? And tap into that.
Mm-hmm. Great, thanks, Marleen. Guys, we have a few more minutes if there's any final questions. Anybody wants to pick Marleen's brains while we have her? Okay, well, if not, I'm going to say that that's an excellent session. Thank you, Marleen, again, for making it so entertaining and interesting and really, just thought-provoking for a lot of people, I think. I think we do have one more question from Gary there. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, I just have a question. Do you work for people, like for business individually, or is it more broader? Like, do you take on clients?
I do take on clients. So right now I am working with Digital Main Street as a digital service squad. So I can't tap into that. But, and again, like sign up guys, like you get 10 amazing hours with a team if you meet the criterias. But if you do not, jackandsparrow.com. So Marleen at jackandsparrow.com it will be on the slides that will be emailed to you. If you want to have an idea session, I can facilitate that. I can spar with you about idea generation, a lot of experience in that. So yeah, just shoot me a line at Marleen at Jack and Sparrow, just like Jack and Sparrow, a story.com.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
Fantastic.
And Gary, was it clear, the different content pillars?
Yes, I think so. We have a lot going on here at the ranch. You know, we go from like weddings, birthday parties, school trips, day camps, and then we have our seasons, Easter. We're going to have lavender, sunflowers, pumpkin mania. So we have so much happening here at the ranch. So we just have to come out with, okay, what are the 3 to 5 main pillars, and then what are the subcategories from there?
That is correct. You are wording it correctly. Yes.
Okay. And
but
then
remember, they are not stagnant. What I said in my slides as well is be a lifelong learner. Look at the trends. What is trending? And your content pillars should change if they are not performing. Okay. Then you change. So if, like, for the big fashion industries, we would change them every 3 months. Okay,
Right.
because people got bored, they wanted a new message. So it'd be like an advertising campaign, right? But again, for small, medium enterprise, it takes a little bit longer to fill those content pillars, to build that story arc, to get the people engaged, because you don't have the same budget. So use them a little bit longer.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem.
Wonderful. All right, guys. Well, as Marleen said, next week we have Laura Bainborough from Digital Service Squad. She will be presenting on impactful imagery. She is a photographer by trade and specializes in product photography. So that's one area that I know, just speaking to business owners, we might have a great deal of good ideas around, what to post and, what our content should be around social media and online. And it's not always backed up by effective, impactful images. So do tune in next week. Please spread the word. There's no limit to the amount of people that we can have join us on these calls. So please spread the word about the Accelerate Learning series. And with that, just want to say again, thank you to Marleen, thank you to Melissa, who's on the call with us. She is our Digital Service Squad lead, and my colleague Briar Kelly, who's also on the call with us. So if you have questions, you want to follow up with any of us, you can always reach out to us directly at the Small Business Centre. Just email smallbusiness@barry.ca. And we're happy to help or set up a one-on-one or introduce you to any of the service squad members. With that, I see a quick question here. They're all, yeah, Ross, they're all individual sessions, so you do need to register for each one, please. Yeah, they're all individual meetings, all four sessions. But hopefully you can join us for all four. They do form, as Marleen said, they do form a package, and that way you're getting the whole advertising agency experience. But once again, thanks very much for joining us, everybody. It's right around 11, so we're finishing nicely on time. Thanks again, Marleen, for your time, and we'll see hopefully everybody again next week.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Go out and tell your stories.